A new high school hockey season brought a new school name for the defending CSHL Champions. The Generals from Washington Liberty were primed to repeat their historic feat from a year ago. 6 players from the program's first title graduated, but optimism was still high for the 2019-20 campaign. A talented group was also one of the league's youngest, featuring just 4 upperclassmen. The 2 seniors, Hunter Spicer and goalie Eli Constantine, brought a wealth of experience to the captaincy. 3-year player Ethan Colston added experience up front, while fellow junior Andrew Sears brought much-needed size, physicality, and versatility to play either forward or defense. A whopping 13 sophomores returned. Alex Bogachev, Chris Hildebrand, and Sean Lucas were poised to break out, while Andrew Spitzer, Harry Eichler, Malcolm Russell Hunter, and Daniel Gessel were ready for larger roles in their second seasons. After an outstanding freshman campaign, a trio of little caps, Kyle Wilson, Harry Burmeister, and Ethan Boyajian, looked to pick up from where they left off. Smooth skating defenseman Ethan Rosker and pure sniper Matthew Clark were back, along with goalie Anders Nelson. The club welcomed 4 freshmen to the team. Will Jamison added high-level skill and offensive ability. Maya French gave the team another smart and versatile option. Blue liner Henry Stratford showed a lot of promise. And goalie Laura South gave the team additional insurance in net. As the defending champs, the team took every opponent's best shot through the season. Together, they navigated their schedule en route to double-digit wins and made the CSHL Final Four for the 2nd year in a row, only the club's 3rd time ever. While the Generals fell just shy of their goal to repeat as champions, they can be proud of their efforts and accomplishments. I'm Neil Sika. Please join me as we take a look back at the 2019-20 season for our Washington Liberty Generals. The Generals opened their title defense against the Woodbridge Vikings. Matthew Clark's 2 first-period goals helped WL jump out to an early lead, and they never looked back. Hunter Spicer extended the lead to 3 before Kyle Wilson netted 2 goals, and Clark completed the hat trick. Eli Constantine stopped 27 of 29 as the Generals rolled to a solid 6-2 win. In Game 2, WL dominated league newcomer South County. Freshman Will Jamison tallied his first high school goal to open up the scoring. The Generals scored 12 more times en route to a 13-4 shellacking. Anders Nelson made 10 saves through 2 periods before freshman goalie Laura South saw her first high school hockey action when she took over the net-minding duties in the 3rd. After cruising through their first 2 games, WL needed a late comeback to survive against George Mason Edison Hayfield. The Generals jumped out to a 2-goal lead when Ethan Boyajian scored and then assisted on Chris Hildebrand's tally in the 2nd. But Hayfield tallied 2 quick goals to tie the game and then capitalized on a power play early in the 3rd to take the lead, stunning WL. But the young Generals stayed composed and responded strong. Will Jamison scored to tie the game with 7 minutes left before Andrew Sears tallied the game winner after burying a rebound into the back of the net. WL had another nail-biter in Game 4, but this time their late heroics fell just short against West Springfield. After a scoreless first period, Chris Hildebrand set up line-mate Alex Bogachev to give WL the lead. The Spartans responded to tie the game and added 2 more goals to extend. Clark scored with 4 minutes left, and WL frantically tried for the equalizer. Despite several good scoring chances, WL was unable to find the back of the net. When the final buzzer sounded, it was the Spartans on top 3-2, handing the Generals their first loss. The Generals bounced back from the loss, winning their next 2 games. The first, a solid 7-3 victory over WT Woodson. Clark continued his scoring terror, while Harry Burmeister tallied twice, and several other Generals found the score sheet. Anders Nelson earned the win, making 19 saves. An 8-2 victory over the Robinson Rams put WL at 5-1 for the year. Matty Clark opened the scoring before Kyle Wilson tapped in a pass from Will Jamison to give the Generals a 2-1 lead after 1. In the second, Chris Hildebrand set up Ethan Rosker and Andrew Spitzer for goals as the Generals cruised to victory. In the final game before the winter break, WL faced off against the always formidable West Potomac. The game started fast with both teams battling up and down the ice. Late in the first, Malcolm Russell Hunter sparked the club, cleaning up a rebound to give the Generals a 1-0 lead. Spicer's early goal in the second would be the insurance that WL needed. The Generals rolled 3 lines from there, wearing down West Post's short bench and dominating the second half of the game. Constantine turned away 13 shots, and Matty Clark's empty netter sealed a 3-1 win for the Generals. The win streak had hit 4, with a lopsided 14-0 blowout over Centerville Fairfax. Freshman defenseman Henry Stratford got the offense rolling with his first career goal and adding 3 assists in the process. 9 Generals would find the back of the net, including Daniel Gessel notching his first career tally. Clark, Jamison, Rosker, Spicer, and Spitzer also found the twine. Sears and Bogachev rounded out the scoring. Anders Nelson stopped all 10 shots to record his first shutout of his high school career. At 7-1, up next was the much-anticipated rematch of last year's CSHL Championship game against undefeated TC Williams. Unfortunately for the Generals, the night did not go their way. TC jumped out to an early lead on a fluky deflection before tallying 40 seconds later to go up 2-0. Alex Bogachev's goal late in the first gave the Generals life, but the Titans turned their game up a notch, scoring 3 times in the second, while WL hit the post twice and failed to convert on multiple power play opportunities. The winning streak was over at 4 as the Titans got small consolation over the defending champs. The Generals finished out the regular season with a solid 5-2 win against Bishop Ironton on their opponent's senior night. WL weathered the Cardinals' early energy, and Anders Nelson stood strong in net to thwart off the attack. Clark and Spicer each scored, and the Generals took a 2-1 lead into the second. More insurance came on a shorthanded goal by Alex Bogachev, and 2 more from Matty Clark gave him his hat trick to end the great regular season. The Generals entered the CSHL playoffs as the 3 seed and drew the 14th seeded South County Stallions in the first round. Just 3 minutes into the game, Harry Burmeister got WL on the board. Wilson, Bogachev, and Sean Lucas added first period goals. The floodgates then opened in the second as Spicer, Jamison, and Boyajian each tallied. In the third, Harry Eicher got his first high school goal, while Bogachev and Wilson each tallied 2 more times to complete their hat tricks. Anders Nelson made 9 saves, and the Generals dominated South County again, winning 12-3, this time to advance to the quarterfinals. In that next round, WL found themselves in a rematch with West Springfield, looking to avenge one of their 2 regular season defeats. Chris Hildebrand's goal in the first gave WL an early lead. Will Jamison was credited with the Generals' second when a Spartans defenseman failed to clear the puck in front of his own net. It ricocheted off his teammate and into the Spartans' goal. Andrew Sears' goal early in the third gave a comfortable 2-goal lead for WL, but it wasn't to last. A furious rally by the Spartans tied the game. The Generals finally regained their footing with under 4 minutes remaining in the game. Harry Burmeister found the back of the net for the game winner. The defense tightened up from there, and WL preserved a 4-3 nail-biting victory. On to the Final Four they went for the 3rd time in program history. The 3-seeded Generals faced off against the eventual champs, the number 2 seed Lake Braddock Bruins. The challenge was even more daunting, without the likes of Alex Bogachev or Andrew Sears, who were unable to play. And Ethan Rosker, battling an illness, was limited in his ability. Lake Braddock converted a breakaway to jump out to an early lead. They added another in the second and started to take control. A shorthanded goal early in the third put them up 3 and appeared to be the backbreaker. Just when it looked like the Generals were down for the count, Ethan Boyajian put the team on his back, scoring twice in a span of 23 seconds to pull WL within 1. His effort sparked a furious rally as the Generals turned up the pressure. For the final 12 minutes of the game, they were in complete control, on the forecheck, and racking up 16 shots of the period. A power play with 6 minutes left gave WL plenty of chances to tie the game, but the Bruins goalie somehow kept the puck out of the net. The Generals eventually brought on the extra attacker, desperate for the equalizer, but it was not to be. There would be a new champion in 2019-20 as the valiant effort came up just short. While being eliminated from the playoffs stung, the Generals had their season finale game versus arch-rival Yorktown to look forward to. Until they didn't. The COVID-19 pandemic was emerging, and days before the game, unprecedented actions by the NBA, NHL, and other organizations and governments led to the cancellation or postponement of events across the country. Less than 24 hours before WL was set to drop the puck against Yorktown, the game was postponed and eventually canceled. It was an odd way to end the season. Hunter Spicer and Eli Constantine did not get to finish their careers on senior night in their special rivalry game. They depart, though, leaving an unmatched legacy. 36 wins in their 4 years is the most for any class in school history. Back-to-back 10-plus win seasons, a 2-1 record versus Yorktown, and of course, the very first league title a season ago. As WLHockey turns an eye toward next season, it will be time for other leaders to rise and guide the club in their pursuit of another championship and victory over Yorktown. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our 2019-20 Washington Liberty Generals.